What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got something pretty good. We got a sister, once again, dropping some facts, right? Man, look, man, this past week, man, we've been talking about a lot of sisters, man, who is, once again, advocating for men, who is, once again, just stating facts and just talking about reality, whether it's on a man's side or a woman's side. A lot of these sisters make great points. But this sister right here is just talking about how you have some of your fathers, man, who are so involved to the point, man, that they spoil their daughters. And here's the thing, right? I've talked about this for the past few videos, right, where I talked about how some of your fathers, right, there are some of your fathers who are so overly protective, who are so involved that they spoil their daughters to the point where these daughters, right, these girls are going out into the world thinking that these men will be just as established as their father. And I gave a real life example where there's a girl that I went to school with back in high school, right, where she even posted on her Facebook and she said that, man, my father, treated me well, he spoiled me. I was his little princess. So I would be damned if I accept anything less, from a man. He needs to be giving me this. He needs to be giving me that. The girl valued the fact that, hey, yeah, my father's in my life. I love that. I'm a daddy's girl. But at the same time, right, he didn't teach me how to be a woman. He didn't teach me how to, once again, and this is why I say, of course, your men are going to, a lot of men are going to teach their girls to be on their own, at the same time, teach them what they expect from a man and how they should be towards a man. But at the same time, they're going to teach them how to be on their own, how to be on their feet. Some fathers, man, are so involved in their daughters' lives. It's almost like that until the day they die, that the father is the crutch, right? The father is the weak spot, right? That for the father, the daughter is the weak spot. And no, I am not crucifying any father, man, who is being involved in their child's life. This video is not that, right? This video is not that. But the thing is, she makes a great point because once again, you do have some of your women out here, man, who, are very entitled, who are very selfish, who, my man need to buy me this, my man need to buy me that. Sometimes it does stem from the fathers that a lot of these women have, because once again, the fathers spoil their daughters. A lot of these fathers sometimes don't see their daughter doing any wrong. Their daughter can sit over here and be slap dead in the wrong. The father's still going to be there. Oh, well, you know what? Hey, well, man, look, my daughter's this. Well, hey, man, look, you shouldn't really be thinking about that when it comes down to my daughter. A lot of fathers tend to be a handicap for their daughters, right? And it's just a bad situation. It's a bad situation because sometimes these girls go out here and start expecting so much from a man. And men are sitting over here like, man, dude, first of all, we're young as hell. Right. And I'm telling you, this girl was in college saying this. Now, I believe she ended up dealing with some guy. Right. And I'm probably going to go back. I'm going to see if they're married, because the last time I checked, I believe he did propose to her. She ended up moving to Seattle, and it was one of those, the man does everything and she just sits in the seat. Right. She sits in the passenger seat and does nothing. Right. The man does everything. The man treats her like a princess. And that's what once again, that's what she's expecting from a man. And once again, she just can't do nothing for herself. That's essentially what the father created, a woman who cannot do nothing for herself. Let's go ahead and just watch the video and let's see what this sister is talking about. But before we even do that, man, do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me a subscribe.
Who set the standard very high. I've seen this with my own eyes, and I'll be like, girl, I ain't had no daddy, so I ain't talking about me, y'all. But I'm talking about what you've seen. I've seen they daddies be setting the standard high, and they daddies will tell you don't mess with no guy who can't do nothing for you. You can't call on him for nothing. All he want to do is put in you.
Well, that's different. No. I agree, because that's different.
But you growing up like that, and your daddy has always been there for you, and you've been accustomed to, I call my dad when I need this. What does that teach your daughter?
Yeah.
And when she get older, when it comes down to these men, if a man can't do nothing for me and I can't count on him, I can't call him for nothing, what I'm doing with you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You get what I'm saying?
It is some chicks out here like that, and they be spoiled rotten.
They be spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
That's
rotten.
what I be saying. Beware of a with a daddy that's
but listen, she makes some good sense. And like I said, I've even given real life examples of where you have, once again, this chick that I went to school with, right? With this guy. I went to school with some chick. right? Where she was dating some guy, even this is during college, where she was saying that, hey, my father did so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so for me. So, hey, guess what? I'm not going to expect any less from a man. She ended up dealing with some guy, right? I would say he's an imp because once again, when you look at the relationship, you can tell the guy has everything. The guy has it all. The guy has the money, yada, yada, yada. And here she is, a passenger princess. Y'all know passenger princesses manly stands for women, man, who really just don't provide anything in a relationship. They just want to look cute. And that's all she is. And for a lot of girls who, once again, are spoiled by their fathers, that's generally what it is. A lot of them don't bring much to the table. A lot of them just say, hey, man, look, this is what my father, he treated me like a princess. He did this, he did that. He bought me everything that I wanted. Well, baby, I mean, hey, that's your father. I'm a man that's trying to be established. Your father been in the game for 40, 50 years. I'm trying to be established. I just got into the game. I'm working a regular job, so I have to work my way up just like everybody else, just like how your father had to. Well, nah, I'm not trying to deal with that. So you got a chick like her who's dealing with a man who's in his 30s, who's working his way up to be established, but he's already there or getting close to it. She's there for the wrong reasons. So let's go ahead and read these comments. So someone says, since when is being spoiled a bad thing? Isn't spoiling subjective anyway? To someone less fortunate, having stable living is spoiled. Spoiled to someone else could be getting gifts on Christmas. Why y'all so offended by the word spoiled? Now, let's just be honest here. That's those examples are mighty weak, right? Now, as far as Christians, most of your people here in America, about 80%, about 90% are Christians, right? So 90% of your people are celebrating Christmas. Christmas is about giving, whether you are rich or whether you are poor, it's all about giving. So how could, once again, you be considered spoiled? Now, me, I don't celebrate that bull crap anyway, right? I don't celebrate none of that crap. But once again, I can just see what they're doing. And hey, once again, it's all about giving, right? And being selfish, right? It's all about getting. So once again, everybody's getting something on Christmas. So I doubt that's just being spoiled. Now, granted, hey, I can see, hey, his parents then gave him a PSP and, freaking, an Xbox, and all I get is a freaking Hot Wheel. You know what? Hey, I mean, I guess you could say, hey, maybe he is spoiled. All I would say is, dang, once again, you're going to be upset, because the father did something, because the father did what he was supposed to do, because the mother did their job. But hey, maybe that works, but maybe that's to his point where, hey, once again, to other people, it might be spoiled. But at the end of the day, it's not a good mindset to have as a daughter. It's not a good mindset to have as a child or a person who's trying to be an adult. That's just a fact. It's not conducive because you build a false sense of what a man should really be. Well, damn, baby, like I said, man, your father's established. He was in the game for 40 years. I'm just not getting into the game, and you're expecting me to sit over and give you everything that your father gave you? This doesn't work that way. Somebody says, do you drink spoiled milk? Spoiling does not mean anything good in the dictionary or in nature. Somebody says, but that's not what she described. She said a daughter that has grown up accustomed to calling on her father when in need will make them spoiled. And that's not even a bad thing. Once again, it is, because it builds a false sense of what a man really is. And it's not to down any father who is in their daughter's life, who is once again having fun with their daughters. I see plenty of guys, man, who glorify their daughters, right? Almost to the point where it's just like, hey, their daughter can't do anything wrong. So it goes on to say, again, the word spoil, regardless of whichever context you give, it will never be good. Prepared, conditioned, or even educated on what she should expect are better terms to use, considering their meaning does not have a negative connotation. Let's not act like any child spoiled doesn't turn into a rotten adult who expects everything for nothing in return, or without having the will to make something of their own. And he is just essentially saying, man, that, hey, the word spoiled in any situation is not good. Whereas there is a guy who is saying that there's nothing wrong with spoiling your daughter, and there's always something wrong with it. There's always something wrong with spoiling your child. There's always something wrong with spoiling a dog. If you spoil a dog, if you're always around the dog, if you give your dog too much attention, too much love, when you then try to go out to go deal with somebody else, go deal with another person, go deal with another dog, that dog is going to react, it's going to act up. It's going to be very hard to control that dog. It's going to be very hard to socialize that dog, just like how it is with your damn daughter, right? When you sit out here, it's going to be very hard for your daughter to obtain a guy when she is expecting a man to do so much when she's only dealing with average guys, right? Because most of your men are average guys. Or your daughter's just going to fall in the same rotation of women, man, that the 10%ers be throwing around, that the same drug dealers be throwing around. So once again, just let's use common sense here. Somebody says some fathers spoils their daughters right, and then they end up 40 with no husband because no man can lead her because she's basically married to her father in certain ways. And then the author says that is not why those women are single. Then why are those women single? Right? Then please tell me why are those women single? I can tell you why, right? Once again, attitude. And that's why I said this right here is just a small part, right? You got a small part of these women, man, who are very spoiled by their fathers. But once again, a lot of these women, man, who are very selfish, once again, they tend to have fathers, man, who spoiled them to the point where it's like, man, hell, hey, man, look, if you can't provide for me, if you can't give me everything that I want, there's no need for you. And once again, that's where a lot of women will reach the downfall. So in a sense, sometimes fathers, right, active fathers can be too overly active and end up destroying their daughters in the long run. Same thing with mothers destroying their sons in the long run. And we see that all of the time. That's sad. We see that all of the time. So do me a huge favor, man. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe, man. And ladies, y'all let me know down below, man. Do y'all think being spoiled by your father is too much? Do y'all think it's wrong? Do y'all think it can hinder you in the long run? Do me a huge favor. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me a subscribe.